Man, I wish I was a cat. No work, no responsibilities, just... Well, at least I've got video games to allow me to live my best climbing, smashing, and napping life. And just a few days ago, I was doing exactly that by playing Little Kitty Big City, and today I'm here to try and convince you to do the same, because why wouldn't you want to be a cat? The game begins with this little black cat taking a nap right at the edge of this building, which is something that has absolutely no chance of going wrong. Yeah, so after falling from his balcony, our feline protagonist sets out to climb back to his regular napping spot. While you're scavenging down in the city, you'll have to make sure to find and eat fishes in order to regain your energy if you hope to make it all the way back up there. Once you do, you get some pets as well as a personalized collar from your owner, and that is pretty much the entire story. I mean, yeah, there are other animals in the neighborhood you can talk to, but they're really only there to give you quests and whatnot. The only one who really has any bearing on the story is the crow. The cat accidentally grabs onto him while falling, and after trying to get you to practice your flying, which you don't do for reasons I need not explain, he decides to help you by offering you one of the fishes you need in exchange for 25 shinies. After giving it to you, he goes ahead and leaves you to find a way up yourself. At this point, if you really wanted to, there'd be nothing stopping you from just getting some of the remaining fishes, climbing your way back to your home, and rolling credits right then and there. Basically everything else is completely optional, and all the other animals just give you information, side quests, or miscellaneous rewards. Crow will operate these machines that'll give you hats in exchange for shinies, and Tanuki will open these magical manholes that acts as the game's fast travel system, among other things, but again, all of this is completely optional. So yeah, the story is just a little short and simple, but I think it works just fine that way. I found the writing humorous and lighthearted, so it was still fun to talk to the other animals to read what they had to say, and because the game is pretty much all about doing silly cat things, having the writing and story be similarly simple is perfectly fine and fitting in my book. Graphically, I think the game looks nice. It's rather simple, but that gives it a unique charm. Getting on top of a high building offers a nice view. The city has a good diversity of locales and set pieces, giving it a nice and cozy, almost homey vibe to it. All the animals look cute, cuddly, and fluffy, which I greatly appreciate, and it's very relaxing and endearing to look at overall, and I think that's perfect for a game like this. The music is pretty subdued and relaxed for the most part. Hell, if your volume was low enough, you might not even realize there actually is music in this. Basically, it's perfect for a chill and cozy feline afternoon stroll, and if you're able to find a nap spot, the napping music is so relaxing it could 100% be used in spas or massage salons and stuff, I'm serious. And the sound effects are all neat and cute too. I mean, just listen to Kitty's meow. Now isn't that just the cutest thing you've ever heard? He purrs as well, which makes him even more lovable. Each animal's dialogue makes a different sound when talking, which I think is a nice touch, and overall all of the sound effects are appropriate and sound exactly like what you'd expect, making them all the better. Alright, getting down to brass tacks and talking about the gameplay. It's very simple. You're a cat and you do cat things, like knocking objects off of shelves, catching birds, zooming and jumping all over the place, and maybe occasionally breaking the fabric of time and space, both because of the game's occasional glitchiness, but also because that's basically what the fast travel is implied to be. Like I said at the beginning, technically your only goal is to get back to the window you fell from, but there's more to do than just that. Scattered about the town are objects to collect or interact with, as well as a couple of different animals who will give you side quests and other stuff. You do and interact with as much of these things as you want until you're finally ready to climb back to your window and roll credits. The game does give you a list of cat achievements. Yes, this game does have plenty of cat puns, but unless you actually want to complete them for completion's sake, you could very well just not bother. But considering the whole appeal is being a silly cat doing silly cat things, you risk finding the game incredibly shallow if you just do the bare minimum. So go ahead and smack those soccer balls into those goals, break these birds' nests, play hide and seek with Mr. Chameleon, and do whatever the hell this is. This isn't actually on your list of things to do. By finding these capsules around the world, giving shinies to Crow at these machines, or completing quests, you can unlock silly little hats to wear. They're purely cosmetic, but they are cute, so therefore, essential. Admittedly, on occasion the controls are a little clunky, but since the game never really asks you to do anything particularly complicated, nor is there any sort of fail-state really, it honestly doesn't do much of anything, aside from maybe making that silly idea that isn't supposed to work, that you're trying to make work regardless, a little more time-consuming to pull off. In the end, this very much feels like a style over substance kind of game, except the quote-unquote style is actually silly cat shenanigans. If you're looking for a grand, epic adventure with a deep and moving story, then yeah, this isn't the game you're looking for. It only took me a little over 3 hours to roll credits, and that's despite the fact I sort of completely forgot you could climb the ivy in the beginning and wasted a decent chunk of time doing absolutely nothing worthwhile on the ground level. Sure, I didn't go for 100% completion, as I wasn't very interested in spending hours picking up trash, chasing objectives I'm not even aware of yet, or trying to get these humans to take pictures of me, but they just don't want to, despite the fact that they have their phones right in their hands. Dude, stop playing that random mobile game or whatever, and just take my picture, please! I imagine those things probably wouldn't be that time-consuming to do, assuming you have a little help from a guide so that you actually know what you're supposed to do. But I've never really been one for using guides in general, so I just didn't bother. That's not to say I never will, of course, but for my first playthrough I generally prefer to simply do what I can see and find, and once I can't see or find anything else, then that's usually when I start to move on. So while you would obviously get more playtime if you went for full completion, I imagine that's not something that most people will bother with on their first playthrough, myself included, so that's kind of why the game ended up being so short for me. However, as someone who really likes cats, I personally had a lot of fun doing these cute little emotes, smacking buckets of paint on some guy's car, or terrorizing the citizens by running around with this random sword I found in a trash can somewhere. And I also enjoyed the silly and comical dialogue, as well as all of the cat jokes and hijinks, like randomly getting spooked by cucumbers, or the tutorial prompt for running being labeled zoomies. And so I quite enjoyed my time playing this game, but unfortunately I don't think it offers much besides all of the cat shenanigans, so while my statement at the beginning of the video, that you should really want to be a cat, still stands, I can't exactly blame you if this doesn't turn out to be your thing. For all you cat lovers out there, however, this one's for you. Have fun. Hey, look at that, it's the outro once again, and as always, no one is making it here, so I can just say whatever the hell I want, honestly. So thanks for watching, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and dislike and unsubscribe if you didn't enjoy, and leave a mean or nice comment if you want to as well. Well, as it turns out, I can't actually think of anything funny to say to end this video, so...